We are now recording.
Thank you. Hi, folks that are joining. Happy Tuesday. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes, just waiting for our participant number to increase a little bit. Hi again to those that are just joining. We're going to get started in about a minute. All right, it is 1 o'clock. So welcome everyone to today's transition to professional practice. So today we're going to have an info session from Applied to Education. So I'm going to welcome Jade and I'm going to pass it off. So please give Jade you don't have a choice, undivided attention because it's a webinar. But we are recording today and hopefully Jade will share the slides with us so we can post and then folks can have a take a look after as well. The check for understanding will be posted on OWL following the session, so you can complete that once it's done. And then if you have any questions throughout, there will be time at the end for questions, but you can also put some in the Q&A box at the bottom. And as appropriate, we can read them throughout the session as well. So with that, I will pass it off to Jade. Thanks, Jade.
Thank you so much, Erin. I'm very happy to be here, everybody. I can't see your faces, but I'm sure they're lovely. As she mentioned, my name is Jade, and I'm going to walk you guys through most of the basics of just how to set up your Applied Education account, what it means, how to use it, and how to apply for jobs, because at the end of the day, that is the goal. All right, friends. So I'm going to start. I'm going to share my screen with you guys just so that you can see what's going on. I'm actually going to lower this one. And I'm just going to take you guys through a couple of slides here. So the first thing to note is that 97% of Ontario actually uses Apply to Ed. So this is a great skill for you guys to have going forward. I'm going to give you guys a quick little rundown of the agenda. I'm going to show you guys how to register your account. Big thing, what is Simplication versus Classic, how to link your accounts. We're going to go through how to complete your applicant portfolio, so what things you want to include and what employers are looking for, and then going on how to apply for a job. And then we'll touch briefly on things like job fairs and PD events. And then any questions you guys have, take them down. We'll have a little Q&A at the end that I can answer for you. All right. So what we can do is we can actually jump right in, friends. And I'm just going to start here on our general Apply to Education page. So when you go to applytoeducation.com, this is going to be the first thing that you're going to see. And for all of you out there, there are actually two versions of applytoeducation.com. So this is actually the classic website that we're looking at here, but there is another version called Simplication, and we'll go through that as well. But basically, Simplication is just a newer version of the website that's a little bit more board specific. And you can tell which boards use Simplication. Basically, when you go in and search for a job, if you find a position and you click to apply for it, it will actually direct you where to go. So if it's a board that uses Simplication, it will actually bring you to a Simplication page to log in at. One of the biggest things to note is that the main difference between Simplication and Classic is just that in the Classic version, you generally have to purchase a credit before you can apply to a posting. With Simplication, you don't have to worry about anything like that. So here we are, we're looking at the Classic page. The first thing that you're going to want to do is register an account. So in order to do that, you can click the login register button at the top, or we can click the button here. So when you do that, It'll show you the login options, but there's going to be a little register button down here. So we're just going to click on that, and it's going to ask you to fill out a form, and all you have to do is click the register button at the end. So some of the things that it's going to ask you, the first and most important is going to be your position category. So this is very important because it sets the tone for the questions that you're going to have in your account, the types of jobs that you're going to see, and the fact that you cannot change the position category once you've created your account. So if you have a teaching account and you decide you want to apply to it as an ECE or something like that, that's a-okay, but you can't change the position category in your account. You would just have to register a new account in the ECE and EA position category instead. So it wouldn't be uncommon to have multiple accounts. It kind of just keeps things a little bit more organized for you. So you can choose your position category. You can set up your username, a password, all of your information there, and then click register. Once you've done that, and it will look very similar on the simplification page, you can automatically log into your account. So let's take a look here. I've got us all set up with Windsor Essex Catholic District School Board today. So basically, we're going to look at the simplification page going forward, but it's generally going to look pretty similar. So once you log in, you're going to be put on the account summary page, and this is going to have like a little description of your account. So this here is for Windsor Essex Catholic, as I mentioned, but what if you want to apply to more than one board that uses simplification? Because it's board specific, do you have to create a whole new account? You do not. There is something a little fun and funky that you can do. It's called linking your account. And basically what linking the account will do for you is that you still have to go to each specific website to log in, but you're going to be using the same username and password when you do that. Any of the information that we put in your portfolio is automatically going to be shared between both accounts so that you don't have to put in the information twice. The only thing that doesn't get shared is going to be things like your resume, your cover letter, and any board specific questions. And the reason why those three in particular aren't shared is usually you want to make those a little bit more tailored to the position or the board that you're applying to. So it kind of helps keep things separate for you. So the steps to link your accounts are not too complicated. Basically, what would happen is if you already have one simplification account registered, let's say we want to register an account with London District, all you would have to do is on this main page here, instead of trying to log in or create an account, we would go to this last one here where it says link an existing account. And what you can do is you'll put in the information for your current account. So say I'm a teacher's principals, we can do my education password, and we'll go next. And then it's going to send you a verification code that you can input. And then once you do that, you can click next, and you can choose the account that you would like to link to. So it'll automatically pull up your user, the employer that you have, and even when you last logged in, all you have to do is click it and then link the account and you're good to go. All right, friends. So that kind of tells you how to set up your account. Sorry. So next we're going to go through how to fill out your portfolio. So your portfolio is going to be found here at the top left. And as you can see, there's a bunch of things that we can go through here. We've already kind of gone over the account summary page, which has like basic info about your account. The next big thing you're going to want to fill out is your personal info page. So any of the information that you see here where there's a box, you can actually update this information. So say you move or you change your number, you can always change this information after you fill it out. The only thing you want to make sure that you're doing is that you click the save button after you make any changes, just so that everything sticks. Once you're done on one page, you can navigate using the next button, or you can use the portfolio tab at the top here and just go to the next page. So once we filled out our personal info, we can go here to our portfolio. You don't have to worry about this too much, but basically it's going to list the school districts that you have here. If you're using simplification, you'll only see the simplification school here. However, if you're using Classic and you have multiple credits for multiple different school boards, you'll see all of them listed. And it will tell you if they're like full-time, part-time, occasional, things like that. Next, we'll go to the qualifications page. So there's always instructions on the page if you ever get lost or you if you have questions. But because this is a teaching account, we're going to pretend that I want to be a supply teacher. One of the things that would be useful to put here is you want to make sure that you're adding your certificate. And because we're in Ontario, we actually link to the OCT website. So it's super important that you add this here. It's basically one of the qualifiers for when you're getting a job, and it will actually pull information from the OCT website to add in your teachables here. So you can always manually input these, but it will also list all of your OCT credentials underneath once it's been loaded. And don't worry if it doesn't happen right away. As long as it's already on the OCT website, it'll load overnight within 24 to 48 hours, I would say. If you're waiting for something to be uploaded to the OCT website, so maybe you have like an additional qualification or something that you went out and got, usually 10 to 14 business days after it's added to the OCT website, it will show up here for you as well. So don't worry if things don't happen right away. They're always in progress for you. All right, friends. So the next couple of sections, we don't have to worry about too much. It'll be things like language skills, experience, your education, your references. Feel free to click on any of those. They'll all have buttons so that you can add in some information. What we're going to look at next is actually going to be the section called resumes and cover letters. So in your portfolio, you can choose to have a resume and a cover letter on file. You don't have to. When you go to apply for a job, it will ask for a resume and cover letter. It will give you the choice to choose between either one you already have in your portfolio, or you can upload a custom one if you'd like. So you don't have to upload one here, but I find it's very handy to have it there. So basically, once you are on this page, you can click on resume. Obviously, it's already highlighted blue for us. And if you go to the right, there's going to be a select file button. All you have to do is click on it, and it's actually going to pull up the documents on your computer so that you can upload something. Once you've done that, it'll look a little bit different. It's going to tell you when you uploaded the document. You're going to see a little document icon here that you can actually click on, and it will show you the document itself. You can choose to delete it. If you do that, the select file button will appear again. That way you can upload something else. And then you also have the option to download the original document. So say you moved, you got a new computer, you don't have your original resume anymore. That's okay. You can always re-download it to your computer using that button. So after that, we're going to go to the next page that says supporting documents. Now, sometimes employers are going to want more information than just a resume and a cover letter. Maybe they want some of your practicum reports or anything like that, or a reference letter. Things like that can all be uploaded here on the supporting documents page. So each of these items here is going to be the name of a folder, and anything that has a plus sign next to it has items in that folder. So all you have to do to see them is just click on the plus sign and it'll open up for you, and then you can click on the file. Basically, it'll work similarly to it did on the resumes and cover letters page. You can click on the document to make it a little bit bigger and see what's going on there for you. If you have multiple files in there, you can move them up and down to kind of customize the order that you have. You can delete them, you can download them again, or you can move them to a different folder. So say I have them in the wrong spot, I actually want this to be in practicum reports, just change what folder you want it in and click OK, and it will actually update for you. That way you have like a little bit of leeway to move things around. All righty. So we've gone through our portfolio, we've added everything that we want to add. We feel really comfortable and confident with all of the information we have. Now it's time for the important part. We want to apply for a job. So that's where the job posting tab comes in for us. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to the search jobs tab, and it's going to have a list of all of the jobs that are available for us to apply to. So again, this is where the position category is kind of important. We want to see teaching jobs. The only reason we would see ECE or like management and professional jobs is if it was open to more than one job category. So don't be alarmed if you see that. It just means it was open to more than one type of employee. Once you find the position that you want to apply to, you can click on it, and it's going to bring you to a page that basically gives you a little description on what the job is about and what kind of documents they're going to require from you. If you take a look on the left-hand side here, there's a section called mandatory documents. There's nothing listed for this position, but generally, if they required something like a resume or a cover letter, anything like that, for example, this, it'll list it there for you. So you can actually see everything that you need to include beforehand. Another thing that might be a little bit handy to hold on to is the job code, just in case you want to come back and search for it. Um, Things like that. So let's go back to the supply teaching position and pretend that's what we want to do there. All you have to do is scroll down to the bottom and there will be an apply button. Once you click on that, it will actually take you through the steps to make sure that you have everything that they need. So again, like I mentioned earlier, it says include the resume from my portfolio and upload a custom resume. So you can kind of pick and choose based on what you have. Basically, you'll go through all of the steps and the last one will say submit. Once you submit, you get 3 different confirmations that you've successfully applied to a job posting. So the first one is going to be a little pop-up on your screen that says, congratulations, you've applied to the position. Let's pretend you have pop-ups blocked. You can't see that. That's okay. You have an email tied to your account. We're going to send you a confirmation email that says, hey, congrats, you applied to this job. You have our emails blocked. Maybe something's wrong. You can't get in. And that's okay. There is a third way to make sure that you've applied to a position. And it's going to be here in the job postings page. So all you have to do is go to jobs applied to. It's just asking us if we want to leave. You can click OK. We can always get back to it. But any position that you apply to will show up on the jobs applied to page. If you do not see it here, you did not successfully apply. So it's always good to check afterwards and make sure that you see it there. So there's a few things here that we want to take note of. For example, if we're searching for jobs, but we happen to be on this application site, you're only going to see jobs for Windsor-Essex or whatever the school board is that you're looking at. If you're on the Classic website, you're actually going to see jobs for every school board. So it's very helpful to use these bars to navigate. So you can go by job title or keyword. If you have the job code, you can actually also input it here and it will pull up the job for you. You can also search by location or school board. And if you start typing, usually it will come up for you. And then you can use things on the side here to narrow down which kind of jobs you want to see. So for example, on the Classic site, you might see 1,000 jobs, but you actually only need to see occasional teaching jobs. You can do that and click update and it will narrow it down for you. These just all happen to be occasional jobs for us today. Another good thing that these guys are used for is setting up something called a job alert. So say that this occasional teaching position is here, but I actually just want to be a permanent French teacher. What we can do is we can set up something called a job alert that kind of ties into the qualifications that we're looking for, and then we can have it sent to us. So maybe we'll use, I want to be a full-time teacher. So we can do like that. And we can say all full-time teaching positions I want to be notified about. So I'm going to click update. And we're going to go to the far right here where it says get jobs sent to you. And I'm going to say full-time teaching jobs. And this is just a title so that when I get the email, I know what I'm being alerted about. But basically, once you do that, this button will turn green so that you know you can click it, and it's going to send you an email. And all you have to do is click a link in the email to activate the alert. Once you do that, you'll be able to go here to the job postings tabs and go to manage job alerts, and you'll be able to see all of the job alerts that you've set up here. So if there's not a position that you want to apply to yet, but you want to be alerted to one in the future, job alerts are very, very useful for something like that. All right, friends. The next thing that we're going to look at kind of quickly is back here on the main Classic Apply to Education page. I'm going to bring us back to the beginning. And Apply to Education does a lot of things like job fairs or PD events, things like that. So you can always go to the main site and click on PD/job fairs there, or you can scroll down and usually they'll all be listed here. So if there's ever anything you're looking for some sort of like application tips, maybe you want to connect with some employers. For example, say I wanted to be a French teacher. We have a French teacher job fair. So if you guys are curious, looking for employment, looking for like some tips, it's always good to check in here. You can register for events. All you have to do is click on them. It will take you to a little description about the event, what it's about, and then there will be a register button. So you guys can actually sign up for events with us as well. So I think that's taken us through basically how to register our account, how to set up things like our portfolio. We know how to apply for a job and set up a job posting. And we've gone briefly over our PD events, things like that. So, did anybody have any questions or things like that that we maybe wanted to take a look at?
So the chat says, under the credits, my school board WRDSB does not show up.
Yes, that's an excellent question. Okay, so if you go to purchase a credit and your school board does not show up, that means that they use simplification. So that means you can't purchase a credit for it because they don't want your money. You don't have to pay for it. So all that means is every website that uses simplification, they have their own site to go to. So what you can do is just search for a job with the school board that you're interested in, and then click on it. It will actually here, let's show you. Just so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So if we go back to the main page and we go to search jobs and we want to apply for a job, I'm going to pick this one here for Grand Prairie. Oh, there you go. Let's pick another one. That one doesn't want to cooperate with us today. So you pull it up and you scroll to the bottom. There's a button here that says apply online. So if I click on it, it actually brings us to a completely different website. And at the top, you'll see that it says simplification. This is their simplification site. So that's how you can tell that a board uses simplification. But you're absolutely right. Checking the credits page is also a really good indicator for you.
Okay. Will the jobs you applied for in simplification still be shown in the jobs I applied to tab?
Yes, they absolutely will. All you have to make sure is that you're logged into the account that you applied with. So for example, say you have a linked account. So we've got a Windsor account and a London account. If you apply to London, you just want to make sure you're logged into London to see the London jobs you applied to.
Okay. I think we already kind of went over this, but can you briefly explain the difference between classic and simplification again?
Absolutely, I can. So classic apply to education is basically the original format, wherein usually in order to apply for a position or a job, you'll have to purchase a credit. So most school boards have actually switched over to simplification, where you don't have to purchase a credit to apply. There's still a few, especially at West, that do use classic, which is why it's important for you guys to know that. But generally, I would say the biggest difference is purchasing the credit.
Okay. Is there a way to link two accounts that are both pre-existing? One is general, one is on simplification.
That's an excellent question. You actually cannot link classic accounts with simplification accounts.
Okay. Is there an initial fee to apply to each job?
No, there isn't. So once you've registered an account, if it's simplification, you don't have to purchase a credit at all. You just register your account, do your thing. If it's a classic account, you actually might not even have to purchase a credit to apply. It might be very job specific. So I always recommend try applying to the job first. If you need to purchase a credit, it will tell you. A credit is usually going to be $14.99. Basically, it'll last you an entire year and you can apply to as many jobs with the school board as you want, but not all school boards, like I said, will make you purchase one. So try to apply first. If it tells you to purchase a credit, then purchase a credit.
Okay. For qualifications as a primary junior teachable, what teachables would I select?
Ooh, okay. So I actually didn't mention this. So this is actually a really good question. There is a section, it will basically say when you pull your credentials, it will say that you're qualified for primary and junior, but your teachables come from both education and life experience. So you can choose what you're comfortable with, but say you went to school for mathematics, but you teach music in your free time and you're very comfortable and confident in that, you can actually select music as one of your teachables, and that counts.
Okay. What website does Halton District School Board use? Are they hiring from the supply list?
That's a great question. Okay, so here, let me do my handy dandy screen share again. So Halton District School Board has their own website. They do use Simplication. So it's going to be Halton District School Board.simplication.com. You can see I go there often because it's there. But even if you're not sure if you Google it, they usually follow a similar format. But yes, so they use Simplication. So you don't have to purchase a credit to apply with them. If we wanted to be extra curious, let's go back to the main site. And you guys can see I'm actually not logged into the Classic website right now. You can search jobs without having to have an account. So let's go to Halton District School Board. And as you can see, you start typing it, it shows up. I want to see all of the jobs that they have. It gives us the option to set up an account if we want to. Secondary LTO, let's go to the side here. I want a teacher job and I want an occasional teacher job. So let's update here. Let's take a look. They have some LTOs that are open, so that's always a good place to start as well. They have a French, a grade 8. Let's take a few more. French immersion. And they have an emergency supply list right now. And elementary French teachers occasional. So they've got a couple occasional postings open right now that you could always look into.
Awesome. Will the jobs you applied for in Simplication still be shown in the jobs I applied to tab in the original site?
So, as kind of mentioned before, like if you have multiple Simplication accounts or anything like that, you want to be in the account that you actually applied to the job in, and that's where it'll show up. So if you have a Simplication account with one board and a Classic account with a different board, basically it will show up in the account that you apply to them with.
Okay. Are there separate PD job fairs for boards that use Simplication?
Ooh, so PD and events are kind of set up based on the school board. So like, say you work with Hamilton Wentworth and they're setting up a PD event, you would see it in your Hamilton account generally, but job fairs are generally pretty open to whoever wants to register for them.
Is the account for Classic the same as Simplication, or are they different accounts?
Good question. So yes, they are technically different accounts. So like I said, you don't have to make an account in Classic to search for a job. So it's almost helpful to go and click on the position that you want to apply to and see where it directs you. But yes, they are two different accounts. And it's useful to know you can actually use the same email address, same password when you're creating multiple accounts like that. The only thing that has to be different is the username, and that kind of helps you tell the difference between the accounts.
Can we clarify what it means to purchase a credit? What are these credits? What are they used for, and how much are they?
Absolutely. Okay, friends, here. Let's go to the purchase credits page. But basically, when you purchase a credit, here, actually, let's log in because then let me pull up an account. Basically, when you go to purchase a credit, it's $14.99 for one school board for 1 year. And basically what purchasing a credit will let you do is that you can apply to as many positions with the school board as you'd like to for that amount of time. So it's kind of like a way to keep your, to apply to jobs and keep your application visible.
Okay. Would it be better to not link accounts to prevent confusion?
So you can keep your accounts separate if you'd like to. I find linking accounts actually makes things a little bit easier for you because then you don't have to worry about doing twice as much work. And if you were to get hired by a school board, you get a little bit more access in your account. So say you're an occasional teacher for more than one school board, having linked accounts actually allows you to say if you pick up an assignment at one school, it adds to your calendar. Your calendar is shared, so it'll actually block you off at the other school as well. So linking your accounts can actually be very useful if you like to have everything kind of synced up. If you personally would prefer to keep everything separate, that's an option that you have as well.
Okay. And could you please quickly go over how to link accounts again?
Absolutely. Okay. Screen share. Okay, friends. So when you want to link an account here, let's pretend to link to Halton because that sounds fun. Let's find Halton District School Board again. So I decided I want to apply for Halton. I want to know if they use Simplification or Classic. I want to know what's going on. I want to be a secondary LTO. Let's do this. I go, I click apply online, and it's going to bring me to their simplification page. So I'm going to ignore everything else over here. I'm going to go to link an existing account. And then I'm going to put in the position category for the account that I already have. So you want the same credentials. And this is actually a good thing to point out. You cannot link accounts from different position categories. So if I have a teaching account with Windsor and an ECE account with London, if I'm trying to make a Halton teaching account, I want to link it to the teacher account, if that makes sense. So then once you've selected your position category, we can enter our email address and click next. It's going to email us a verification code so that we can link to the account. So normally you would just go to your email address, you would take the code that they gave you. I'm just going to put in big. And then once you put in your code, you'll be able to go to the next step there where it asks you to select an account to link to. And if you have multiple accounts, it'll ask you to choose which one you want to link to, and it will only show you eligible accounts. So say I had a Classic account, but I don't see it here. It's because you can't actually link it. Once you do that, you can click the link account button and you're good to go.
Awesome. Well, we are coming up on time, so there are still a few more questions. Jade, is there a way that they can contact you if they have further questions?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. So I'm going to give you guys our phone number. So we have a call desk that is open from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. We are always happy to help you guys walk through how to set up your account, things like that. You forgot your password, give us a call. So the phone number that you guys can call is 1-877 900 5627. And then we also have an email. So our email is info, I-N-F-O, at applytoeducation.com. And the 2 is a T-O. And then we do have a contact us page on the website too, if you've ever forgotten that information.
So that's 1-877-900-5627.
That is correct.
And it's apply to education info at applytoeducation.com.
You got it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jade,
No
for
problem.
coming to speak to all of us. As mentioned before, Erin will post the videos as soon as we get the YouTube link, and the check for understanding will be posted soon as well. Thank you, Jade. This was very informative.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day and call us if you have any questions.
All right, I'm going to stop